William Child Green was a British writer. He was born in 1802 in London and lived in Walworth. His first Gothic story was Secrets of Cabalism or Ravenstone and Alice of Huntingdon. He published a series of Gothic novels between 1821 and 1826 and was still alive in circa 1831. Today we will review his 1826 Abbot of Montserrat or the Pool of Blood. Taking place in the Santa Maria de Montserrat Abbey near Barcelona in the Middle Ages, we espy two young people making their way to the monastery as part of their elopement, these being Fernandez de Leon and Isabel de Gracy, who had fled together due to Isabel's father's hatred of de Leon owing to a trivial legal dispute over a useless plot of land. Arriving within, they are just about ready to witness the last rites of the dying brother Augustin, in whom Fernandez recognizes his missing father. During the ceremony over the expiring Augustin, Isabel notices one of the monks is glaring at her from the shadows, being the hated malcontent Obando, shunned by all the brothers of the monastery. His interest is divided between Isabel and Augustin, pursuing the latter to his deathbed and warning him to fulfill an unholy oath. Then, as Fernandez is briefly reunited with his dying father, Obando is pursued by the half-serpent demon Zatanai, who promises him all he would desire, along with the speedy death of Augustin, preventing him from disclosing how he had seen the pair together in the past in unholy communion. Persuaded to accept the lordship of the demon, Obando ascends a nearby mountain to find Roldan, the notorious leader of the banditti, who exacts tribute from the monastery by threats of hurling gigantic boulders from the mountain to crush it, and who had murdered the previous abbot. Meeting Roldan, he recognizes his own lost brother Marco, and together they plan to capture Isabel and her friends as they leave Montserrat for Barcelona, along with Isabel's father, who also happened to come to the monastery and then agree to their wedding, making the entire elopement entirely unnecessary. After Augustin's death, the party is indeed captured by the bandits, but Roldan is overcome with Isabel's beauty. Taking them to the mountain, the lot are imprisoned for 5 months, as Obando murders the abbot Ambrose and with the demon's help is made the new Abbot of Montserrat. During this time, Obando tries in vain to make Isabel agree to be his mistress, unable to use force or to remove her due to Roldan's pledge of honor, making the formerly joyous reunion between brothers turn into mutual hatred. Among the banditti, Fernandez is visited by a mysterious older woman, and what is his surprise when he discovers his own abducted mother Corvetta, whom Roldan had abducted and made his mate against her will 20 years ago, living this whole time within sight of the monastery, which happened by another sheer coincidence to house her now dead husband, with neither being aware of it. After 5 months, during which Obando pesters Isabel with his wooing, though we never get to see any of it, Corvetta contrives to free her son and his friends, just as Obando sneaks up the mountain to try and force Roldan to give him Isabel once and for all. Fernandez and company get to safety, but Corvetta refuses to leave the robber's den, saying she has no place among the lawful despite her son's best efforts. Meanwhile, Obando had thrown Roldan down the mountain but failed to kill him. Returning to the monastery, he is mocked by the demon, as Roldan's bandits launch massive boulders into the monastery roof. What is worse, Fernandez and Isabel's father had met a traveling band from the Inquisition, and had directed them to the monastery and to Obando in particular. Now Obando is besieged on both sides and is lured to follow Zatanai, who drags him into the air to witness the slaughter taking place in the burning monastery between the banditti and the soldiers of the Inquisition. At the last moment he rejects Zatanai, to be thrown into the wreckage and smashed on the rocks below, while Roldan is hewn to pieces by the Inquisition. Following the death of Roldan, Corvetta now joins her son without objection. The novel is based on many coincidences, and Isabel and Fernandez get barely any screen time, so they are entirely bereft of personality. Even the ending does not focus on them, but on Isabel's servant Inez. Still, the pacing is brisk and the whole thing is far from boring.